There is nothing more painful than knowing that you have potential within you that you are not yet fulfilling. There is nothing more painful than carrying unexpressed creativity within you, unable to fully be who you are meant to be in the world because you're scared, because you're doubting, because you're letting your ego, your mind take the reins and control your life. There is nothing more painful than that. You know why? Because no matter what you do, there is always this little voice at the back of your mind reminding you, nagging at you that you're not yet living up to your full potential, that you're not yet allowing yourself to express all of who you are and create whatever it is that you're uniquely drawn to create and called to create. There is nothing more painful than that. And we might think that we want success, that we want wealth, that we want fame. We might think that those things are somehow gonna fix that little hole that we all feel, that are gonna feel the emptiness that we feel. We might think that those things are finally gonna get us the fulfillment and satisfaction and peace that we desire. But guess what? They don't. Unless we live in our truth and integrity and follow our North Star for whatever we feel called to create. Everyone has a unique calling to create something. You know what that thing is for you. But unless we follow that path, which might lead, and I believe inevitably leads to success and wealth and abundance and all the things that are given onto us if we just follow first the truth, we can't achieve it in the other. We can't shortcut that way. You know why? Because you will tiptoe around creating things, right? You will tiptoe around your vulnerability, and you will try to find ways to get the success, get the fame, get the wealth by doing all the other things that don't require you to live in your truth, to be your vulnerable self, to expose all of you in front of the world, to show up as your true self. And a lot of us try to do that, right? We try to do just to tiptoe like a little ballerina around putting ourselves out there and living in our truth and be courageous, because it takes courage to be vulnerable, doesn't it? It takes courage to be who you truly are in front of the world, and just to boldly step into your truth and say, this is me, this is who I truly am, and this is what I'm creating, and not letting your mind or your ego tell you that you suck, that you're not good enough, that you're not ready yet, whatever it is, whatever lies our mind is telling us, right? But it doesn't work. It doesn't work, because no matter how busy you keep yourself, no matter how many things you do and you tiptoe around and you try to build your success here by following the best strategy, by finding the one secret that's gonna get you the success, no matter how many things you do to keep yourself productive, so you get that sense of false productivity, is not gonna get you the fulfillment that your soul is longing for. It doesn't work that way, because to get the fulfillment that you're craving is to expose yourself and be who you truly are and live in your truth. And that's scary. That's scary, because showing up as who you truly are in front of the world and then getting rejected, that hurts, right? So we try to put on a mask. We try to, as I said, I don't know how to better explain it. In my life, it felt like I was tiptoeing around, like I'm not gonna take the leap fully. I'm just gonna do little things that just give me a little sense of false productivity. But I wouldn't just step fully into my being and take bold action and courageous moves and just follow what feels it's true for me from within passionately, and blaze through doubts and the fears that I have. Like, that's how it felt like I've been living for so many years, procrastinating, perfecting, second guessing, always thinking I'm not there yet. And you know why this was the case? Because I actually didn't know how to disassociate with the thoughts that I had. We hear constantly in the personal development industry, in the coaching industry, you are not your mind. Don't believe what your mind tells you. Your thoughts create your reality. I knew that intellectually. But I didn't know it experientially. I didn't know it experientially. I knew it intellectually. Everybody was telling me, but I'm like, yeah, okay. So you would try affirmations. You would try to maybe rewrite certain thoughts that you have. You will catch a thought. Okay, I'm not good enough. Question it. Is that really true? You would try to like uh, rewire your brain in that way. But you know what I found? I found that even though those are modalities and tools that can really help. Why? Because, well, they bring you awareness to something that you might have not otherwise thought about. Like, you might have not thought that, okay, my thoughts create my reality. What am I thinking? What am I thinking about myself? What is my mind telling me? Let me pause for a second, pay attention. What is my mind telling me? So when you start getting into the personal development industry, coaching industry, you start uh, you start paying more attention. When you start paying more attention, yes, maybe you'll find certain things you believe about yourself, and then you start rewiring them. But I found in my experience that this is a never ending quest for perfection that doesn't actually work and doesn't actually get us to where we want to be. And I'll tell you why. Because your mind is so complex. Your mind has stored millions and millions and millions of memories and experiences that are making your identity right now, or what you believe is your identity, because I'm going to get to that point in a second. But there are millions of things that you have experienced, from the littlest of moments to the biggest of traumas, to like, you have accumulated so many things. How are you going to rewire every single limiting belief that you have? How are you ever going to recreate the totality of your mind to be fully empowering to you? And how are you going to sustain that? Because guess what? You are constantly accumulating more and more and more thoughts every single day. Even now, you watching this video is going to create certain memory in your mind, and your mind is going to make something out of that. It's going to interpret it in a certain way. You keep collecting data, and then that data has to be interpreted in a certain way. It doesn't work. And I actually have a big problem with the personal development industry and the coaching industry, because it's built on the idea that we are always lacking something and we need to fix ourselves to be who we want to be. And I was personally trapped in that cycle of trying to figure out that one thing that's gonna fix me and heal me, that's gonna give me the empowerment that I desired, to have the courage to express myself, to be myself, to create my dreams, right? And I was searching for that one strategy that's gonna get me the success that I desire, that one secret that will finally make it all click, and I will finally transform my life. But if you are knee deep in that industry, if you're knee deep into self-help, and you're constantly searching for the thing that's going to fix you, you're constantly affirming to yourself that you're not there yet. You're constantly affirming to yourself that you are not whole, and that there is actually something to fix. And it's a never ending quest. And I spent years trying to fix, to find that one thing. I even had one coach, I've told that story before many times. If you've seen my previous videos, you would know. When I was so painfully uh, trapped in that cycle of procrastination, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought that something was fundamentally wrong with me because I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I had to do to create my dreams, but I just wasn't able to get myself to do anything. I wasn't able to get myself to proactively build my dreams and express myself. And I was searching, oh my God, what is wrong with me? What is that one thing? What is wrong with me? How can I finally fix that procrastination thing? How can I be so self-aware of the fact that I'm procrastinating and still do it nonetheless, and still unable to get over that? And so I had a coach at the time, an amazing lady, and she was really helping me out with that procrastination thing. But no matter how much we worked together in each session, I kept telling her, I don't, that you don't understand. Like, she was helping me. She was really calling out my BS. But in one session, I was like, you don't understand, girl. There is something fundamentally wrong with me, because I don't understand how can there be any person who can be so self-aware of their own procrastination behavior and still unable to move. What the hell is that about? And then she told me, if you keep looking for that one thing, because I told her, I said there should be something deeper, right? There should be something deeper than what me and you are working on. What is your vision? What is your why? Why do you wanna be proactive? Like the simple things. But I was like, no. Those things, they don't apply to me, because my problem is deeper than that. I have a fundamentally deeper problem than that. And then she told me, if you keep looking for that one thing that is deeper, that one problem that is deeper, so you can finally explain your behavior and you can keep looking forever, and you might like finally find something that makes sense to you and say, oh, yes, that's the problem. That's why I am the way it is. And then she said, and even then, when you find that thing, what then? What needs to happen then? Do you still need to take a decision to no longer associate yourself with that problem, with that thing? Or are you going to just use it as an excuse for how you are? Right? Because we might keep digging and digging and digging and digging, but even if we dig to the core of the earth and find something there, to the core of your psyche, and you find something there, what needs to happen then? You have two choices. You either make a decision that you no longer associate yourself with that belief or that thought, or you justify why are you the way you are, and you say, oh, okay, yes, I now realize why I'm the way I am. And then that's it. That's the end of your progress and development, and that's the end of everything. You can't do anything about that. And so why I'm sharing this story is because what I came to realize after many years of searching and experimenting and looking for the truth, looking for answers, is that none of what your mind is telling you matters. It really just doesn't. And it's really just that simple of a decision to say, I don't want to listen to you. Whenever your mind starts telling you crap about yourself, about your worthiness, about your good enoughness, about how ready you are, just shut it up in one instant and say, you can say whatever you want, but I am not that. I'm not that accumulation of thoughts that I carry with me. I'm not that. It's really just that realization that about who you truly are. It all comes down, what I came to realize is, it all comes down to What is your true identity? Who are you truly? Who are you truly? What is your true identity? And that's when you just realize, okay, okay, there is a part of me, there is that side of me that I know, only I know I have. The world doesn't know I have that because I never dare to show it. I never dare to just be that because it's scary, because my mind tells me, who do you think you are? I doubt myself, I second guess myself. And it's almost like you get that split view of your mind telling you all of those things, and then the sense that you have, we all feel that our soul, who actually is bold and courageous and amazing, and it has so much to share, and it has so much to help people, and it's just being suppressed by the mind. And it's really just taking a just deciding, it's really a decision, it's just deciding that you will no longer allow your mind to tell you who you are, because you know who you are. And how do you know who you are? How do you know who you are? Can you tell me who you truly are when you close your eyes, when you feel your soul, when you feel your true being, when you feel yourself being connected to God, or consciousness? Can you feel that you are not actually separate from anything? You're not separate from God, you're not separate from consciousness. How can you think of yourself as less than who God created you to be? I mean, it's really just ridiculous to let, I call it, the enemy to dictate who you are and tell you who you are. That God created you in his image, but you're creating yourself in the image of doubt and fear. Why? Why would you let anybody tell you? Why would you let anyone tell you that you're any less than who you truly are? Your true identity is that of a child of God. And if that sounds a little too cringy and religious, by the way, I'm not at all preaching anything religious, then find your identity in something that feels more appropriate for you, more applicable to you. Is it consciousness? Is it the universe? Is it your God as you know it? Who is God to you? Because no matter how much you dig in your mind, unless you realize that you are, yes, a spiritual being having a human experience, you will always struggle. You will always struggle. Because let me just give you a little example. If you have something that you want to express, let's say you want to record a video, you want to start content creation, you sit down, you put the camera on, and then if you start thinking about yourself, how do I look? How do I sound? What are people gonna think about me? Is my background okay? Is my hair okay? Oh my gosh, what if I embarrass myself? What if I say something stupid? The more you think about yourself, the less freedom you have. The less freedom you have. Because in the end of the day, if you just stop thinking so much about yourself and you really just let whatever creativity wants to come out of you, you will inevitably want to have that creativity expressed, because you want to serve someone. You want to serve people. You believe that there is something that you have that can help people. End of the story. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your dream is. I don't care what your desire is. I don't care what creativity you want to express. You want to do it because you believe that there is something there for you to help people. Even if it's making art, you want to express that creativity and paint that painting because you want to say something. You want to say something, and there is a particular type of person that will appreciate that, that will read that, that will be transformed by that. Everyone has a unique set of skills, unique set um, of creativity that we are called to express, because people perceive uh, things in different way, right? That's why sometimes you hear one thing being said millions of times by millions of people, but there is just this one person who says it in a way that you never heard it before, and it clicks for you. But you've heard it millions of times before. But that person had a unique way of saying it that resonated with you, because you are this individual who has individual way of understanding and interpreting thing, and so it clicked for you. So so it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is when you think about others, you allow yourself to be courageous. I'll repeat that. When you think about others and not about yourself, you allow yourself to be courageous, because at this point, when you think about others, is no longer even about courage. It's about service. Because courage is what? Courage is needed only when we feel fear, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't need courage. And really, the fear is more so coming from a place of, am I going to be rejected? Am I going to be ostracized? Am I going to be judged? Am I going to be laughed at? Am I going to embarrass myself? Because I'm putting my vulnerable self out there, right? And that's why I need courage. But you need, uh, you you actually gain courage to overcome all of those fears when you realize it was never about you to begin with. It was never about you to begin with. It's never about us. The less we think of ourselves, the more we express ourselves, the more we express our true identity, and we fulfill our potential. And so that brings me to the first point that I made. Your mind is not you. And your mind, if you let your ego dictate how you live and what you do, you will always struggle to be courageous, because it will always be about you. Oh, how do I look? What is going to happen? Cast it aside. Just stop it at one instant. Say, I don't need to listen to you. I have more important things to do. I have more important things to do. And it's not even about uh how do I call that? It's not even about pumping yourself up to be, I'm the greatest, I'm amazing, I'm the more I am you work on, the more personal, the more of the personal identity that you have you work on, the harder it will be to sustainably create and express yourself, because your mind will always come up with new stories about why you might not be good enough. So the trick here is not even a trick, it's really about a realization of who you truly are. That's what I teach. That's what I've been teaching all these years, all along, is when you identify with who you truly are, which is something much greater than your human avatar and your accumulation of thoughts, which you call your mind and your ego. You're much bigger than that. So when you start realizing who you truly are and remembering who you truly are, because actually you know it. I don't even need to tell you, because you know it. You just need to remember it. You just need to realize it continuously. Keep realizing who you truly are. Then things just flow effortlessly, and you just begin living life as you are meant to live life. Because as I said, there is nothing more painful than living life being only a fraction of what you can be. There is nothing more painful than living your life, walking this earth, being only a fraction of what you could be, because you allowed your mind to dictate how you live your life. I think it's time for us to remember who we truly are. And I think it's time for us to step boldly toward creating what we are uniquely called to create. Because guess what? When we dare courageously, we give permission to other people to dare too. And we create a ripple effect of courage around the world. And I think it's so important nowadays for us not only to be courageous so we can create success and fame and be Instagram influencers, but to help humans live a fulfilled life and be kind and be loving and help one another. Because we are here to help each other. We are not here to compete with each other. Human beings survived all these years because we know how to collaborate. Other animals and mammals have their unique gifts to survive, like to evolve, like throughout evolution. Like you have tigers who have big teeth, they have nails, they have a way of surviving with what they have, right? The nails, the teeth. What do we have? You know what we have? We have the unique ability to feel compassion towards one another and to help each other. When you see an old lady falling on the street, your first instinct is to help that lady. No other mammals have that. I mean, maybe some have that. But it's actually a documentary that you can watch that explains that, how our survival mechanism is that of compassion and collaboration. And why does that matter? It's because when you dare to be who you are, when you dare to be your authentic self, to express your creativity, whatever it is that you want to do, others feel inspired and others will do it too. And then you can help them by being that. You help others by living in your truth. And we can encourage each other to be that. Instead of judging each other, laughing at each other, thinking of each other less, projecting our own fears and doubts, we can celebrate each other. We can help each other rise, be good, kind human beings. Honestly, we need that nowadays. And I hope that video inspired you to start that ripple effect of courage wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are ready to step in your bold era, I am super excited to invite you to my virtual event happening on the 1st of November. The 1st of November, I'm hosting the Bold Femme Awakening. And on that event, we will be setting a new bold standard. So we can no longer allow anybody tell us who we should be. So we can learn how to own our own wisdom, how to trust our own judgment, and how to boldly step toward creating our dream lives. Let's set a new bold standard, a bold standard of courage and kindness and love and humility and amazingness and boldness. Let's do it. So if you are curious to join the event, just click the link below and I will see you there. Thank you so much for watching and I wish you an amazing rest of your day.